Hello there. In this video we'll focus more on animation side SD, and primarily we're going to do this nice and smooth animations based on the video, so we can extract all motion poses, everything and even more. We're going also have it like example here, few frames I extracted on different poses for animation, so we can take them same smooth beautiful animations flicker free with a face swap. First, an important step, we need to have it Stable Diffusion installed on your local machine with automatic 1111 installation. I will provide link down below for you so you can go check. As well, we need to have it installed ControlNet available. Root and other extensions. I am using the Resolve Studio, and it's a free actually Resolve DaVinci Resolve 1 version is free. You can download it. Links will be down below. For this I extract frames and also where I combine movies. However, you don't need to use this. You can also just download a Shutter encoder, which is free applications and allowed you to extract frames and put together. Techniques what we're going to use, it will utilize some batch or script processing, but we have it also other ways we can do it, and I have it another video link down below where we're utilizing the batch processing. So it's meaning you have it multiple frames, you can download it and let your system process this way. However, the problem using batch processing, it does not retain information about the first frame or other frames. For this, we're going to use a special script that we're going to run, allowed us to going over the images and process as a batch processing, but only with specific value, and apply effect of the first and last frames. The script what we're going to use it, frame video render for Stable Diffusion. To download, we need to go on this page again, link below. Click on download now. This is open donations. If you feel generous, you can donating, but it's not required. But it does personal from my perspective. I do like when people reward my work, so if you think this script is helpful for you, even $1, it's great donations. Let's go ahead. Next, when you click, you come to this page where you want to download it, and you want to click and save this inside your folder. It should be located Stable Diffusion script folder. You can put it inside here. Enable the noise multiplier on the top, and we done this several times ago, but if for some reason you forgot how to do this, let me show you. You want to go navigate in your Stable Diffusion folder, go inside the model and open shared files, shared Python, click and go open, edit in a text pad or whatever you like it. Inside this shared, when you open, you want to search and find initial noise multiplier, and we want to set this to 0. By default it will be set, I think, 0.52. We just need to set this to 0, so it's allowed us to control amount of the noise we needed. After you're done, save this. So next, let's go back to our Stable Diffusion interface. We'll go to inside the extensions. Next, let's go inside the settings and enable some of our new scripts and other elements. By the way, to the read, for the script to read, you actually need to restart your server. So it's meaning whatever Windows you have your server running, just close it and run the batch file again to restart your server. Okay, let's go start with the first, very simple. Go in ControlNet, and in ControlNet you can notice right here you can enable or disable do not append map to output, so it will just generate showing. We don't need at this point. You can check on this and be sure they allowed other script to ControlNet enabled. So this is almost all other extensions that using need to access. So this two need check in. You notice right here I have a 3 instance of ControlNet enabled, so I can use a 3 model of ControlNet at the same time. Next step, we're going inside the Stable Diffusion tab and be sure the with image to image do exactly amount of step slider specified is enabled. This will help us to create more consistency result. Let's enable this multiplier slider. For this we need to go back to the user interface, scroll down where you can see the options, the display on the top, and currently it's SD model checkpoint right here. We also have the multiplier and grid safe. For example, if I disable this, will remove it when we restart the interface. To add what we needed, noise multiplier, you just need to click on an empty field with a pop-up window. So you're going this expanded, go find the initial underscore noise underscore multiplier and select. After you select it, it will be just added right here in line for you. Okay, next jump to the top, save image and grid, and be sure that always save all generated images is enabled. Usually this is required if you work with the form or any other ones animations. So usually most likely it is enabled for you, but if it's not, just check and enable. After this, when you're done, click apply all settings and reload UI. You should see right here on the top noise multiplier appear. In my case, you remember I removed a checkbox for the grid, it's gone. So down below in a script, we need to go to image script. Let's scroll down and right here click on a script and you should have it multi-frame. In your case, it will says beta multi-frame v072. I have a few other versions, and reason I was modifying Python, so just adjusting some script rewriting. But generally in yours, you should have just one script. And of course, you should have it ControlNet and root. I'm currently will use it Stable Diffusion checkpoint delivery. We need to take our video and split on segments. We can do with other applications, but for now, we'll just going to use it Shutter encoder. Select video, drag and drop inside the windows that you want to split on the parts. Okay, so next, choose the function. We'll click down and select to image creation JPEG. You notice this is change the image sequence right here, create sequence, and of course we can change if we need it. On the destinations, notice I enable check and I put it in an area where I want it. I would recommend for you to create specific folder and put it all animations frames there. And for example, right here I have it AI stuff frames, so this is where they're going to place. If you need to change the resolution, you can click down and change the resolution that you needed. Also, if your video card have a small amount of memory, you maybe want to resize, because you can resize images here as well as you're doing this, make them a little bit smaller, like 512 by 512 or some other resolution. When you're done, just click on start function, and this is will take, and you can see will process and extract. It's happened very fast. And now if I'm going inside, I can see right here all of these frames was extracted and placed. Okay, where we're done with installing all necessary components, now we can start working directly with the images. We're going to use the image to image type. Remember, we created some of those frames. Let's go ahead and grab our first frame. We'll drag and place it inside the image. You need to have some image here, even if it won't be affected, but otherwise you will receive error. Also, let's go ahead and put it prompt. So I'm going to adjust my width to match the image resolution. We also will leave it as just resize crop. So this is same sampling steps. We can go to 25, just a little bit higher. Save the scale and the noise strings, we'll leave it as default. So on top noise multiplier, if you have it a little bit higher, just bring down to the 0 as well. We don't need any noise at that step. Let's go ahead and click generate. And here we have it, our slimy, nothing resemble with what we wanted, but it's okay. For this reason, we're going to use the ControlNet. Expand ControlNet, and you notice right here I have it 1, 2, and 3, same from the settings that I said before. For this also to enable, we need to take a drag and drop one frame, and just to be sure, I'll just place those frames in all 3 ControlNets for the future use. First ControlNet, I want to go to enable, and we're going to use it. So let's go enable this, and this is preloaded model for this. If you don't have it any model, or you're missing them for some reason, I will provide link for you down below in the description where you can go ahead and download it all missing or just all of ControlNet models. When you're selecting picture, you should have it no preprocessor, because it's will using image they put it in, and we use it model. We're not going to use this image for everything. Usually when we process in ControlNet, we use the batch file where we can preload it multiple images. But when we preload batch files, we cannot actually reference one image to another. This is what the magic of the script will be. We'll have a single image, we put it with ControlNet. It's enable if you have it about 8 or less gigabyte video card, enable low VRAM, and also I want to enable pixel perfect. This is will take resolution original image and readjust for the ControlNet to calculate based on all size of this. Let's go down below. We leave it ControlNet as default value, and let's set ControlNet as more important settings here. Leave it everything else as default. Now we're going above, and let's click on generate. Right now we have only one ControlNet enabled, and it's kind of nice they have this highlights color showing me one is only working. Have it our image, very nice model, was excellent working and does not affect the backgrounds, which actually very nice. And right here we have it our alien. Sometimes what I've noticed with aliens, your hands maybe does not look good, sometimes maybe missing fingers and everything. For this we're going to use it another model of ControlNet. We enable right here pixel perfect, same what we did before, only we're going to use it open pose, and I want to use it full open pose because in this case if we look on the pre-processing, by the way, right here you see this teeny tiny icon, this is will enable preview. But notice we have it face, hands, and we have it fingers, so it's kind of nice to keep it consistency in the limbs if we want to do this as well. Same ControlNet is more important, leave it here, and let's put this down to 0.8 for the weight because we want override. Let's go click generate, and you'll notice right here pose how it's connected. The other pose should be close but little bit different, so because it will be a little bit more with the sync of current pose. If you like it what you see, you always can go down to the seed and click on this recycle icon, so we'll reuse our seed that we have before. So this is our two ControlNets, we're almost ready. Third one is very optional. If you go on this ControlNet, what are we going to use it? It is controller called TemporalNet TV, and this is kind of will analyze several images and applied denoising. In some case, if you ever use a DaVinci Resolve with a deflickering, this is on a lighter version of this deflickering when it's used analysis and may remove some information, so this is need to be very careful. I usually, if I used very low value for this, preserve it, but it is another ways to remove it. Again, we'll use the enable, pixel perfect, ControlNet is more important in this case, and let's render one more time. So this time we have it, our model established, we have it 3 different ControlNet, and by the way, this, if you don't have it, TemporalNet yet downloaded, right here will provide for you a link to this file. They can go down and download it, div ControlNet SD TemporalNet, 723 megabyte desktop. Just download it and place it in your Stable Diffusion folder, extensions, SD Web ControlNet models inside here. This is if you install the Stable Diffusion by using extension tab inside the automatic. If you are installed using GitHub, then you will have it in a ControlNet directly models, and ControlNet you will place it inside here. You don't need to restart interface. If you want to read, just click on this reload button, which will refresh and read all models inside the folders, and then you can select it. Let's go up and check, and you can see just little bit cleanup, but model look very nice. So when you like how it's look, play little bit more maybe with the prompt, negative prompt as you need it, but I think this is work okay for me. So next I want to create animations. Usually we can run through the batch to process all of them, but we will have a little bit inconsistency if we do this. So to do more consistent result, we want to use the script. For this, let's go ahead, click down, and you want to select the beta multi-frame video render 0.72. Now notice we open several properties options. Important for us to be sure we're using the noise string 7.75. Same, we have it here. We'll set 7.5. Next, this is important to reference of what images that should be rendered, and it's reference. By default, you have it first generated, guide image, and historical if you need it. We won't go through all of them. For this reason, we just will use the first generated image as a reference, and when I load back what is happening after render, it's going preloaded image, and based on this same we need to use our first generated image as a loop back source. The next we need to upload the frames that we're going to use because it is need to read. Before we have a batch files, now this will work as a batch file. For this, click on upload guide frames, navigate to the place where we extract frames, and select all of the frames that you want to process. I have currently 375 frames. Let's go ahead, click open, and it's reading. It does not showing you that is read, but it is will read a lot of frames as we need it. Click generate. The application will generate files inside your output image to images, and in a folder. When it's generated, it will read your first file. Have this directory is empty. You can create subfolders like what I did it and copy and paste inside those subfolders if you need it. But general, this first need be clean, so it will create your first image and reference that image. And you can see right here, this is our reference image and our first frame. So now it will generate different type of frames. Okay, if you open a folder and look inside, you'll notice how the system works. We'll create our first frame as we have here. And after, you'll notice also it will create this kind of reference frame. So you have your first frame, second, and this is how by blending working with consistency by reference. And you can see it will create another frames and have a more consistent result by comparing those frames and be sure they all look very identical. Process is usually take a very long time. I'm using on a 3090 video card and it took for 375 images frames, it took about 4 or 5 hours. So I highly recommend run it before you go maybe sleep or somewhere else you're going to do, or you can run something other because it will take a long time. After render completed, you should have a folder with all frames and sequence kind of done. So you can go ahead and preview all of those frames. Now we need to put them together. For this one, we're again going to use it same shadow encoder, only now we're going to combine images. So I'm going to select all of the frames that I'm going to use, select them here and drag and drop inside. Okay, oops, actually let's go and remove my movie that I had before. Right here, all of them set. Let's go to be sure we select all of them inside. Now as functionality, I'm going to switch from creating, you remember, images. So we want actually create now animations. And I want to go with output codecs H.264. It will create MP4. Right here, same, you can say where you want to create it in a path, a specified path for this. And when we're done, let's go ahead, just click start function. It should process them quite a bit fast, and after you will have it file done with your name or you have a frame, and you can see right here this is animations put it together. So it's kind of nice free applications. Again, link for that applications will be down below. You can download it for free and you can extract frames or putting together stuff. But this is actually only one way. One of the biggest things plus of this script, because it's acting as a batch file processing, it can work almost with any other extensions that we can use it inside the image to image. In this case, I'll show you how with a root or face swapping it can work as well. So for this, we're going to create, we'll take it, okay, and this is image of me, so it's what we're going to use it. Next, I'm going to type maybe, and also let's readjust our width and height to match our image. Same things with almost we done before. Well, let's go ahead and click on generate. This should be just generate image without actually references. Right here, I want to be sure it is image of the some Rococo Baroque queen it's creating for us. Next, right there, what we want to do, it is be sure the pose is look same. We're going to utilize same as before ControlNet, very similar what we done before, and I'm going just copy, so we have it there. Enable, let's go pixel perfect. One nice things about pixel picture, if we enable preprocessors, let's enable here. If we preview on this, you can see how it will start protecting background. This actually works very well in this case. And beside protecting, you can see it is replacing my face very well with a different model. So this is what I want to do. Same, we're going to the next ControlNet. Actually, let me verify I have it all this enabled. Yep, it's look properly. Okay, let's go ahead, next control batch, and this one same I am enable, and I'm going to use it open pose as well for this. Just little bit reduction, very similar to what we done before, and that is to keep consistency. Okay, now this is what actually beauty of this script coming up, that we can also use it like group or face swap. So I'm going to expand this, can use it portrait around here. We'll go to, of course, enable default. Let's go use it GF pen, visibility upscale. I think everything is right at this point. We said, and let's go ahead generate. with a consistent result and with this face. Look right here, this is exactly face what we have there. I mean, it's very nice how it's done job. Of course, we can even create a little bit more smoothness of this if we're going in ControlNet as well. Enable again pixel perfect. Let's go to the model, select our temper, which is work very well when you do with the portraits. And we're also going to control weight. Let's set about 2 around this and ControlNet. So this way we can create very nice and smooth. Okay, right here you can see it's make quite a bit better blending. So when you like and satisfied with what you see on the pictures, we can go start animating. So we go in a script as before, and we'll do select script that we're going to use it. As well, on this script we want to match our the noise string 7.5. We also want to be sure our it's selected first generated here, enable, and as well we want to go to select what frames we want to process. An example here, we can go select frames. Okay, click open, and now we're ready to go ahead and process. As well, next going and swipe faces with the model. This is in some case you can not necessarily need to use the somebody face. Let me show you just example. We're just going and use Terminator, and you know what, on the script actually I want to disable because I don't want process, I just want preview right now. So we'll use it here, and we also let's have just rename it and create Terminator if I only can spell properly. Okay, let's go ahead, click generate, and here we have it, our Terminator face instead mine. So you can see how fun you can create all of these animations. And when we do face swap, we can have it nice. And you know what, interesting things to me, look right here, this is our original and it's look nice, and this is only have it one image to extract, and look how clean and nice. Of course we have a little bit inconsistent to work, but this is example on a face swapping. So hopefully you found this video interesting to you, you learn new techniques. If you do, please give us thumbs up, like it, subscribe, share this video, help my channel grow, and this is the best support you can provide. I appreciate all your help and have a great time creating.